Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's really a great pleasure to welcome you all to this Global Health Supply Chain Summit. Obviously, we would have liked to meet in person. We miss all the camaraderie, gathering, laughter, etc. But given the current times, we'll have to make do with this virtual summit. My name is Ravi Anupindi. I'm a faculty at the Ross School of Business and co-chair of the conference. And Yehuda, you want to introduce yourself?
So my name is Yehuda Basok. I am a faculty at USC in supply chain, and I co-chaired this conference in the last 10 times, and here we are.
So the conference theme, rightfully for the current situation that we face across the globe, is focused around supply chain resiliency, focus on preparedness, response, and recovery. What I'll do is in the next 10 minutes, just give you a brief introduction and some opening remarks, and then we will have our keynote speaker address the audience. So first of all, I would really like to thank our sponsors, generous sponsorship from Chemonics, and my own department here at the Michigan Ross School of Business, Technology and Operations, the William Davidson Institute at the University of Michigan, as well as the Center for Global Supply Chain Management at USC Marshall School of Business. Just a brief history of where we have been. This is the 13th event that we are hosting. And on the map, I show you, where we have been. Initial years, we started in Zaragoza in Spain, then went to United States. For the last several years, we've been actually hosting in Africa and going across the continent of sub-Saharan Africa, as you can see, different locations. The last conference where we all met was in Johannesburg in 2019. And I really, really hope that by next year, we'll be able to meet in person again. For this particular conference, it's just wonderful to see the attendance. This graph shows the global nature of people joining in for this event. Largest contingent is obviously from Africa in terms of number of attendees. And within the African subcontinent, I think the largest contingent is from Nigeria. So congratulations and welcome all of you. I know for some of you in Australia, down under, etc., it's a little bit late in the during the day, but hopefully, the content will keep you, get the caffeine going for you, and you'll be able to stay with us for the entire event. Welcome all. As you know, the conference really has curated sessions as well as contributed sessions. We solicited abstracts from all of you, and we couldn't feature everything. But here is the word cloud that shows what is on the top of your mind as it comes to this conference. It's about health, supply chain. You can see COVID-19 features quite prominently, but there is also an issue about management, logistics. It's about delivery, it's about resilience, etc. Before I introduce the program to you, I just want to acknowledge our support team here. This program wouldn't have been possible without really hours and hours of work behind the scenes by all of these people. Lead project support, let me just call out the name, Anton, Sue, website support by Christopher, and all of the Zoom IT that you're seeing in the background is by Sherry. She's holding the fort there, and we have 4 student assistants who are helping us out, Mohit, Emily, Jacob, and Damini. And finally, if you're listening in on the French channel, the live interpretation by Babel Linguistics. We have 2 interpreters taking turns to do the interpretation, live interpretation for the plenary sessions. I also would like to thank our organizing committee. I'm not going to read all the names, but it took a lot of planning way back starting in March to put all of this together. As you can see from, we have a global representation here on our organizing committee, and really appreciate all of their inputs. leading up to this point and also during the conference, they're helping us out. So thank you so much, organizing committee. Just a brief introduction to the tech platforms that we are going to use. The plenary sessions, which is one of them currently that we are running, is going to be run on webinar style. So if you're attending, chat is disabled, but Q&A is enabled and video is disabled for you. So if you have any questions, you should basically type in on the Q&A window, and we have people looking into the Q&A during the plenary session, keynote speaker, and we'll try to get to all of the questions. The parallel tracks that we are going to run later today are contributed sessions. They will run as meeting style. So chat is enabled and video is going to be enabled. You may check your email for links to these sessions. And then we have 2 networking sessions, which are not on Zoom. We are trying out a new platform called AirMeet. As you can see from the visual below, this is similar to the format where you walk into a conference room, there is a networking coffee session or a wine session, and people gather around different tables. So please log in to create a login there, and hope to see you there during the break and as well as towards the end of today's sessions. Now, let me just give you an outline of the 3-day program. We are day 1 program. We're going to start shortly in about 5 minutes with our keynote speaker, Dr. Vera Songwe. She is with the United Nations Under Secretary, and I'll introduce her shortly. Following the keynote speech by Dr. Songwe, with a brief transition, we will go into the first plenary panel session. And we will stay here. You're not going to log out of the Zoom session in that transition. On this same session, we will continue with the panel. And that panel is going to be moderated by Dr. Lloyd Matove. After the panel session, between 11:15 and 11:45, this is the US time, East Coast time, we will have a half-an-hour break and networking session. Please log on to network AirMeet at that point in time so we all can see each other and at least have some brief chats. And following that at 11:45 a.m., we go into parallel tracks. There are 4 parallel tracks. I would like to just emphasize that track 1 today and tomorrow, track 5, will feature prize talks. So we host a prize competition, and we shortlisted 4 presentations. 2 of them will be held today and 2 of them tomorrow. And at the end of the day, we have a half-an-hour networking session again, so we can meet each other and briefly chat. So this is the structure for day 1. Similarly, we have a structure for day 2, exactly paralleling day 1. We will start in the morning with a recap of day 1, and our featured keynote speaker for day 2 is Dr. Muhammad Ali Pateh. He's the Global Director of Health and Nutrition and Population at the World Bank. And then following the keynote speech, we will have a panel discussion on COVID-19 vaccines for low and middle income countries, break and networking, and then following that parallel tracks, and finally networking. So that's day 2. So day 2 mirrors exactly day 1. And on day 3, we flip the sequence a little bit. We start the day in the morning with parallel tracks. So we will not be in this webinar session. You'll go into your parallel tracks and listen to various talks. And then with a brief transition, we'll come back into the webinar style plenary panel session. And then following that, we will have a closing keynote speaker, our keynote speaker 3, Mr. Amer Daoudi. He's the Senior Director of Operations and Services with the World Food Program. As you all know, the World Food Program was the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize this year. And he's going to talk about the role of World Food Program in providing logistics support for the pandemic. And following the keynote speech, we will announce the winner of the prize competition and close the conference. And then we'll have some networking sessions. So that's the structure of the 3-day program. Hope you can stay with us all 3 days and enjoy and learn all of the excellent content that we are bringing to you. I would like to hand over to Yehuda at this point to talk a little bit about the post-conference activities. As folks who have been with us all these years, we've been doing this annual conference once a year. but we are now beginning to plan more continued set of activities. So Yehuda, please take it over from here.
Hi. So for a long time, we thought that, we are having the conference, it's very successful once a year, but we have nothing and we are doing nothing during the year itself. We wanted to change it, and actually the pandemic that forced us to use this mode helped us, and we want to introduce two things. More details will be distributed later using email. We will have periodic webinars and panel discussion on topics of interest. And I hope that you will all join these meetings. So this is one thing that will help us to have connection all during the year, and hopefully meet next year live somewhere. But we will have these periodical webinars. We will have a training session. So to the ones of you that joined the conference in the past, you know that we always had the third day with a training session. This year we will have the training session, but later, perhaps in December, perhaps in January, we will see, but we will have a training session, and you're all welcome to this training session. We also want to introduce a new program, which is a small grant research program. We will have a call for proposals, and individual organizations are welcome to submit programs. There will be a committee to short list and to choose a small number of proposals. And then we will have a research mentorship, so we can and we have the resources to help in developing the research, conducting the research, writing the research, and making it a paper or a manuscript that can be published and distributed to all. And clearly we will provide some money, not a lot, but sufficient. We believe it is sufficient to do it. We did it already with one grant to Elizabeth Pisani that looks at quality of drugs, and we hope that it will be successful. This is all done together and in partnership with Cremonics. The research and the webinars. And the first webinar will be on December 16 from 9 to 10:30 Eastern time. And there will be an announcement that will come soon. And there will be a training session in January. And I want to repeat it. This is done together with Cremonics, that we are partnering with, and with their great help and interest. And we might add another partner or two, but that's to be seen. Thank you.
Thank you, Yehuda.